Hey, it's April with Homesteadin in the City, and today I'm going to show you my trellis and give you an update on my muscadines. If you recall, it wasn't even a whole year ago, I got some new neighbors and they reached over the fence and cut my bit of the muscadines. It was during the off season and they just looked like they were dead vines, but they weren't. And so this is what's come back within the season. Oh, look, there is a little kitty right there. There's Cleo the garden cat. But you can see that it's growing back pretty nicely. And what I'm going to do, I've got them growing on this trellis now. And you can see the whole progression down that way to the end of the house. And so the vines have come back pretty good. I don't think we're going to get any fruit production this year, which is really sad. I'll show you the few fruits that I think we're going to get. But nothing really over here. It's had to grow back, but I will say it's happened quickly. And once we get into late fall, early winter, I'm going to trim stuff back because, yeah, it's overgrowing and I'm going to work to keep this off of the fence to hopefully keep my new neighbors happy. And I have come around to the other side. You'll see the other side of the fence because I do have a couple little fruits coming in. So I might get one or two this year. It is really sad, but maybe these guys will be enough this year. I also think that it's worth noting that I've had some more muscadines, and these are the Scuppernong variety. Scuppernongs are a type of muscadine and they're really sweet and delicious. And I did make wine with them last year. I'll have to reference that video or even finish the video. I don't think I finished it, but I did make wine. And so I planted these a couple of years ago, and again, when the season ends, I'll have to trim these back a bit. But the goal is to have it growing up and over, there's Cleo, the pergola. And so it'd be nice to sit out here and to just be able to grab your grape. Let's see, can we situate that? Yeah, you could just grab and eat one. That'd be nice. I've also had some growing along my other neighbor's fence. She's the cool neighbor. It was actually her father that planted the ones on the other side because before he passed, he lived on the other side of me. We also do have some of this wisteria or whatever it is that's super invasive. So I'm going to be working to get rid of that, but it likes to grow in amongst the rest of it. But yeah, so I'm getting these established as well. It's not looking like I'll have any fruit off of them yet, but eventually we will get there. But these vines are something else to manage. But the payoff is worth it. The fruit is delicious. I did want to talk to you about the trellis that I built. Let's see if I can get that in focus right there. And let's see, maybe get a little better shot right here. So I got some T-posts, the tallest ones I could get. I think they were like 7 feet. And I've used this cabling, metal wire, to create the trellis. It comes in some huge rolls, and we had some crimps there to be able to secure the wire. And then this little turnbuckle here, where I can also tighten it anytime it gets loose. It also keeps this from having too much tension, and hopefully will keep the wires from snapping. But pretty simple process, and I think it was the millennial gardener that came up with this technique, and that was where I learned it from. So thank you, millennial gardener. It has worked out wonderfully so far. I think he was doing it for container growing, but it's been an easy trellis to put in. I didn't even have to do the turnbuckles over here. I just looped this around because the T-posts have those nice little notches right there. They're really helpful. And so yeah, and you can see where it's getting a little heavy over there, but I'll trim these up come end of season. But this has just been a season of letting it grow back out. I think it is worth noting the pieces that I used. I was able to get this big spool of wire, and that spool made it easy to carry those long bits of wire down to the other post. But you have these pieces right here. This piece matches up in here to keep this wire from corroding and snapping. And so you really just have to take a smaller piece of wire, which these wire cutters here did come with the kit that I got. And so let's see if I can do this one-handed. And so that's really handy to have. Even if you don't have wire cutters, it comes with the kit. I'm going to put a link in the description. So if you do need to get any of these pieces, you can. It all comes together. But you just take, let's see if I have any that are, none that are out of the package. Hold on a sec. You would just take your smaller piece of wire here, you crimp that in there, and actually I'm going to pull it a little bit tighter so it makes it easier. Then as I'm doing that, I'm going to loop this piece in. Right here. Sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, the idea is that you're going to pull all that together. If you got to pull the ends there. But then you have this little piece that helps with the tension. And you'll end up crimping that. That's going to be the piece that works out right there that you hook the turnbuckle onto. You do the same thing over here with the longer bits. And we have another clamp right there that will hold it down. But yeah, this trellis, definitely pretty easy to assemble. The pieces come in a kit, except for the T-posts. I got those at the home improvement store locally. But all this comes together where if you need to make a trellis for any reason, you can.